Serial class, and she teaches me greatly every day. So please welcome Ellen Contente.
That's okay. I'm doing my podium work. So, happy Sunday, everyone. Happy rainy Sunday, everyone. So, we are so blessed to be here every week, and I'm so blessed to be here today. I want to make sure that everyone does have their affirmation, which is in your program. So if you did not get a program today, we can pass out your affirmation for you. Because every month we do new affirmations. So as you're getting them, I'm going to say it, and then we're going to repeat it again at the very end. But this month is all about living truth. And I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self, as James said. How do we be our greatest self? Well, as a ministerial student and a practitioner, my greatest self is living as spirit. And so to be more of a spiritual person, I decided I needed to go back to basics, to go back to Science of Mind 101. And I've been rereading the textbook. And it's a very different experience having gone through it as a practitioner and now in ministerial school. I'm getting things at a very different level. And I'm reading things that I had never read before. I'm like, really? I can't believe this is the first time I'm reading this. And so one of the things that I read, which I think really comes into play this month, is Ernest Holmes wrote, "To suppose that one must retire from the world to be spiritual is one of the greatest possible mistakes. We enter into the spirit of life only as we enter into the spirit of living." I was like, oh, yes. I don't have to go retire on a mountain to be spiritual. All I have to do is live my life. And, with it being the new year, many of us have either set resolutions or just resolved not to set resolutions, which I did. What I decided to do instead was to have more clear intentions about what I wanted my life to be about. And this year, my clear intention is to relax more, because I do so much, and to have more fun. I teach people to have more fun, and yet I don't have a lot of fun. I have a lot of enjoyment. I do love what I do, and I enjoy a lot of my life, but I don't really do things just for the pure sake of having fun. So before the end of the Christmas break, or the holiday break, I went out with my daughter and her friend Maria to go ice skating, which is one of my most fun things to do, and I haven't ice skated in a really, really long time. And I grew up on the Northeast in Long Island, and my mother would take us ice skating as little kids at Bethpage State Park. And I remember this because it was outdoors and it was freezing, so we'd be all bundled up, and we'd be out in this gorgeous rink, and I learned how to ice skate. And it's one of my most favorite things to do. And I remember as a kid that there'd be like this wall. And so all the kids would be literally clinging to the wall trying to go around the rink because they're afraid to fall. They're afraid to fall, and because nobody wants to get hurt. And I realized, to have more fun, you may have to let go of being cautious. You can't be afraid to fall, and you can't be afraid to fail. And so as we're going around the rink, and Jamie and Maria are clinging to the wall. And they've both been ice skating before, and I knew eventually they would come off the wall. And I'm sailing by them. I had gotten my ice skating legs back. But I realized that I was still being very cautious because I wasn't trying my arabesque things, and I realized I wasn't really doing my skating backward thing, which I used to be able to do. And it hit me. I was afraid of falling and afraid of getting hurt. And I didn't want to get hurt. And I thought, well, But if I continue to be cautious and safe, I'm really not going to live fully. I have to be willing to fail. I have to be willing to fall down, literally fall down, in order to have more fun in my life. And so in that moment, literally in that moment of realizing that, I went, whoa! Not only did I fall down, but I like, boom, with a thud. And I mean, you can't really see it. There's just a little, but it was this big, giant, bulging bump and scrape. And my daughter turned around and was like, oh my God, Mom, are you okay? And she's like, no more falling. I don't want you to get hurt. And I said, no, I want to have fun. And I fell 2 more times. Yay! I was truly living fully and having a blast. Lynn Robinson writes in Divine Intuition, which is another one of my favorite books. She writes, it is possible to create a life you love, one that is filled with enthusiasm, love, and abundance. Have courage. Take small steps. Keep taking them. And before you know it, you will be living in the joy flow. And for me, the joy flow is gliding across the ice with the greatest of ease. Namaste. And so let's know that. Let's get our card out, our affirmation for this month. I will say it once and then we'll repeat it twice. I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self. All right, everybody, let's do that together. I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self. All right, one more time. I live my truth and dare to be my greatest self. And let's know that together. Let's know that as God, as divine creative energy, we are one with this greatest self that is our spirit self, that is our God self, and that at all times we can only live our greatest self because we only live as God. And so I know that for each and every one of us, we choose joy, we choose prosperity, we choose abundance, we choose to have fun. We set an intention to live as our greatest selves in everything that we do. And I know that this is a year filled with fun, filled with joy, and filled with prosperity and health for each and every one of us. And I'm so grateful to live as spirit, to live as God, to be this God highest self that I am, living a fun, loving, joyful life. And it's with gratitude that I release my word, knowing it's already done for each and every one of us as we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. That was great. That was great.